Welcome back to RSAC Conference 2025. We're here recording live from the Cybersecurity TV studio in Broadcast Alley at Moscone West. I'm your host, Mandy Logan, and joining me for this interview is Dr. David Aviv, Chief Technology Officer at Radware. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Manny, for having me.
I am so glad that you are here, and in the few minutes before we started our show here, fascinating conversation.
Yes.
I've got to tell you, it's always encouraging to me when I get to speak to a technology officer. And at this conference, I'm curious. You have all that you have been working on with Radware products. You have all that you have been focusing on and looking to create. What have you noticed at the conference that either aligns with what you are doing or is completely opposite of what you are doing?
Well, it's a tough question, but...
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, from what we have seen, obviously there are many sections that we in Radware we are not engaged with,
Right.
because there are many security domains that different vendors are offering. We at Radware, we are mainly protecting our data, our customers, data centers, service provider networks, for when they expose their assets publicly outside. As far as we know, obviously there's a big hype on the AI applications, protecting AI applications. We do see a lot of concerns about identity, to protect identity, preserve identity. It has a lot of governance issues as well. And beyond that, the traditional, I would say, the enterprise security solutions, as well as, traditional application security, network security. There's a mix of many things here. As far as I see, we are quite aligned on what's going on in the market space, and we plan our own next generation or next wave of products to cope with the new challenges of the protecting AI apps and AI environments.
And is that, in your view, the main thing that is changing the threat landscape?
I would say that definitely the generative AI hype, or I would say the democratization of AI,
Okay.
is changing dramatically. Not only the security posture, our lifestyle, our life posture, quite soon. We start talking a lot of vibe coding.
Right.
So everyone talks on vibe coding. Is vibe coding going to make obsolete the junior engineers? So it has an impact on every part of the industry.
And far beyond the industry, because we're seeing people who have nothing to do with cybersecurity and in family life, in home life, everything. The adoption of Gen AI and the way that it is, I feel like we're actively seeing kind of a rewiring of culture and mankind's thought process with having this much information available, and also realizing that our human abilities aren't going to keep up with AI abilities.
Yes, well, there is a lot of debate on, the let's say general AI that will obsolete people as human being, but it's very hard to predict. Very hard to predict. I'm a very big, can be considered as optimistic.
Okay.
Vis-a-vis the human nature, the way human will handle. But one thing we can say for sure, my lifetime I've seen already the web revolution, and this is another big revolution, maybe bigger than the web. We don't know yet, but it might be even bigger than that one. It will probably impact every part of our daily life, and we see the early signs of that. And obviously, as a security, as a technology officer, providing and having to address and protect those kind of new challenges, we are now at the race of understanding the new threat landscape. What does it mean? What does it mean for us? How can we craft new wave of products to be aligned? And for that, obviously, we listen very carefully to our big customers.
That's good. I mean, you as an engineer and product overseers, you're looking, of course, you have to have data
Yes.
and you need it from your customers. And is it, with your background in telecommunications and electrical engineering, is there any aspect that you look at this very start of generative AI being adopted broadly and go, oh, this is just another means of human communication?
Yes. Well, that is. It takes us back to our previous session before, but this is evolution and revolution. Evolution in the sense the way we communicate and we can create new things, but a revolution in the technology side, the way we can adapt new things and the way it can lead the usage, the new way of using neural networks in order to solve problems, to understand problems. This is going to bring us to completely different areas. I would like to give you a very simple example.
Yeah, please do.
In security, we tend to model threats, and by modeling the threats, we get to understand what kind of models we need to build in order to outpace them. So there were a couple of problems, very tough problems, like business logic attacks for someone that is building protection for APIs. That traditionally, if you use traditional machine learning methods, well, you can do as much as you can, but you cannot go deeper than that because of the limitation of the CPU
Right.
and memory. Well, guess what? With the new generative AI technology that we already have, it's much easier to model a much complicated model that can now uncover threats that we couldn't even see before. We couldn't understand
True.
before.
True.
It's like a chess game. You can play two moves all the time. And now with the new chess, I can see ahead 10 moves at a time.
So that makes me think, if we go back to a simplistic view of an adversary mindset versus the defense mindset, is what you're saying that generative AI is allowing defense to more quickly adapt to how adversaries are creating the evolution of the modern threat landscape?
Absolutely, if you know how to use it. If
Okay.
it's like, it's the traditional, you need AI to combat AI.
Well, then how is Radware using it?
So we use it we use 3 layers of that.
Okay.
The first one, we call it, it's secure by AI, which means we use the AI in order to build deeper security controls. So our
But what do you-
algorithms,
Okay.
our algorithms become better by simply using AI. What does it mean? It means that we can now solve problems, uncover threats that we couldn't be uncovered before, couldn't understand before, simply by using new technologies, new generative AI technologies, in which we augment our current solutions. So this is the first layer.
Okay.
The second one is protect the AI infrastructure.
Okay.
Our customers start to use AI applications. Well, using AI applications brings up new threat surfaces.
Well, and doesn't it also increase old threats? I mean, it is increased what is have been around
Absolutely.
forever,
Absolutely. Amplifies many things.
right?
Adds many things. To give an example, if you run an AI and a regular application, we were used to the supply chain, the ecosystem, and there were many attacks through that supply chain. Now, when you start running AI up, you have a completely new AI supply chain. It's a different thing, it's a different beast. So, well, how do we address it? How you discover AI assets? We were
Right.
used to talk on shadow IT. Now we are talking on shadow AI.
AI, exactly.
There are many new AI assets in the enterprise. Well, there's a new task. Discovery of them, label them, map the risk of them, safeguard them. So it's an endless list that we are now just addressing and starting to view and understand, and based on that, start to build solutions for them.
And with your triple layer AI assisted technologies within Radware, what is something that the security team or a SOC analyst would see while using Radware?
Well,
What is a benefit that they would see? What would directly help them?
there will be two. I will speak in two dimensions. The first dimension is you will have better tool to remediate
Okay.
the problem,
Okay.
to bring the RCA to shorten the mean time to repair, to remediate, and find the root cause analysis via new tools of. I'll give you an example. Today in our traditional SOG, some events, some SIEs, some critical events will bring up the experts to deal and spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in order to resolve the issue. However, with our new agents, we bring up the new agents for remediation, it cuts down the MTTR, the mean time to repair, 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
2, 3 hours to a couple of minutes. So that's one dimension. Being able, what we call it, anti-fragile network. Moving to an anti-fragile network. Not yes.
Okay. So anti-fragile, that's a really good
Yes.
turn of phrase. That is,
Nassim Taleb, this is not mine. This was phrased by Nassim Taleb.
oh, okay.
So what we mean, and we adopted that term, is that resiliency can absorb the shock, but stays the same.
So,
Anti-fragile networks absorb the shock and changes.
and adjust.
It changes to cope with that and plan for the next one. It means that the new SOC will have new intelligence capabilities to understand the attack and then predict, move to a proactive and a predictive mode in which we'll be able to anticipate for the next wave, make it better, remediate it better.
Now, that is fascinating. It's making me think of a lot of different things, but I am curious, do you feel that with the advances adversarial AI use is bringing that the industry as a whole, or perhaps subsections, are on the verge of a black swan event?
Well, it depends of the viewpoint, which kind of industries will evolve on that. But it's going to take an extreme impact on all of us. I must be frankly with you. Like a year and a half ago, when we started the journey on generative AI, I wasn't that sure that the impact will be that big.
Really?
I wasn't.
You mean in the end results for your customers, or
No, generally, what can be really achieved with those kind of things? But
Okay.
as the month by month, with the new capabilities and I would say the new ecosystem that's been developed around it and the speed of that, I personally was quite amazed on what can be achieved utilizing those kind of new tools.
Can you provide an example?
Yeah, it's like, give an example. One of our customers, big customers, e-commerce, came to us, told us, you guys, you provide us an anti-bot solution
Okay.
for detecting scrapers. Our business model is based on those, detecting those bad scrapers and avoid them. Otherwise,
Right.
we expose our catalog and everything.
Right.
But you, as well as the entire industry, provide a solution which is based on providing suspicious guys, suspicious actors, a challenge. And you expect the, the, the actor to solve the challenge in order to be sure if he's a friend or a fool. I mean, is a good guy or a bad guy,
Right.
human or machine. Let's say different ways to deal with it. But we start seeing a new wave of agentic bots, agents, bot agents, AI agents, that when we send them the challenge, which is a JavaScript challenge, the agent sends it to a LLM engine, large language model engine. Large language model engine is able very fast to understand the challenge
Absolutely.
and solve it.
Right.
So they can scrape our entire catalog. We're in big trouble.
Oh, yes.
So this is a way where you can see the adversaries are using those kind of new technology, new agents, to defeat the defenses. So our job now is to bring new tools that are defeating those agents that try to defeat the defenses.
But in that moment, when you realize that that is going on, I mean, that's a complete, almost, I feel like a watershed moment. Like it just makes you stop and go, oh, we have just entered whole new territory.
Yes, a new paradigm. Absolutely, it's a new paradigm.
Yes.
It's a new paradigm of everything, and that's why the being able to understand, to run, to test, to understand the new technology, and then be able to understand the new risks that can come through that.
Going back to what you
enable
said,
us-
that's like
yes.
4D chess, having to
Yes.
stay ahead of all of that, which is incredibly satisfying for those of us
Yes.
who want to do that and understand the mission toward it. And I, David, I appreciate your conversation here with us today, and I definitely want to encourage our audience and all of the CISOs to look into Radware's information, because these are key factors for the changing threat landscape and for the next. I mean, we're here. The future is here. It is now. And thank you for joining us. To find out more about Radware, please visit securityweekly.com/Radware RSAC. For all RSAC 2025 coverage by Cyber Risk Alliance, please visit securityweekly.com/RSAC. Thank you again, David.
Thank you for having me.
You are so very welcome. Stick around. We'll be back after the break with more interviews live from the RSAC Conference 2025.